Can you believe that in a month we're getting the Snyder Cut? What is up, guys? It's me, the Yoli Double X Prince, and I'm here to give you my review of the original theatrical version that we got of Justice League back in 2017. And I gotta say that this movie, rewatching it, it wasn't that bad. Part of it actually has to do with the fact that I didn't go to theaters to watch it because I remember going to the theaters watching Justice League. I kind of fucking hated it. Part of it was because I paid a good amount of money to do it, to go to the movies and purchase a ticket and do all that shit. But yeah, you could tell that this movie was not complete. Obviously, Zack Snyder had to pull away from the movie, and Josh Whedon ended up taking over. I get it. But if they postponed the movie, honestly, I wouldn't have been mad because let's think about it. This is the fifth movie in the DC universe. We got Man of Steel, we got BVS, we got Suicide Squad, and we got Wonder Woman. Justice League is next. And now we're bringing in Justice League, a movie that is introducing The Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, three characters we haven't seen up to this point. Suicide Squad didn't even have anything to do with the movie. That's fine, but I mean, come on. It's really hard. Like, I could see them not doing a Flash movie because that would be pretty fucking boring, no offense. Especially with this Ezra Miller. Aquaman should have came out. It should have been the four movies I just said. Aquaman, and then the original date that Justice League was, or the original Aquaman date, that should have been Justice League. That's how it should have been done. Um, but no. Uh, and fine, I guess we can live with it. But this movie, unlike BVS, unlike Man of Steel, and hell, unlike Suicide Squad, this movie barely hits the 2 hour mark. That is a big, big problem if you're gonna make a movie trying to develop three characters, three brand new characters. Um, it was kind of like, hey, can you join the Justice League? No. Sure? Maybe. Please? Okay. That was basically the plot of this movie. Um, and we didn't get a lot to like enjoy these characters. A lot of people loved Aquaman in this movie. Maybe Jason Momoa's character was just over the top to the point that people just loved it. I thought it was good. I don't think it was as great as people claim it to be. We'll get to Aquaman when we get to it, but I don't think it was all that amazing. But um, one of the other biggest problems with this movie was the whole reshoots because for those of you who do not know, you should know by now, but um, Henry Cavill, the actor who plays Superman, was growing a mustache and he refused to shave because he was shooting Mission Impossible, so it made sense that he couldn't have shaved his beard. So they CGI'd his entire fucking face and he looked like human Shrek from Shrek 2. It was so bad. People were just like too distracted. It was like, what the fuck were we watching? And that was the biggest problem. People were like, what the fuck were we watching? This movie didn't feel complete. It didn't feel it just felt rushed. It didn't feel like a true vision of somebody's work. It really just felt like Josh Whedon's like, yeah, this movie's a piece of shit. Let's just move around it. And Josh Whedon, if you were going to do that, can you at least make a good movie in the process? Yes, I gotta admit that this movie's not that good. It's not that bad, honestly. I could watch it and enjoy some parts, but for the most part, I cannot take this movie too goddamn serious. Maybe that's why I kind of enjoyed it. If the less serious you take it, the more fun you're gonna have with this movie. You could say the same thing about a lot of movies, but that's not the mentality you should have watching these movies. Um, so yeah, I would have just extended the movie. Like hell, if you gave us 30 minutes of just adding to it, That's another problem. I think that's the biggest problem. We waited so long for the Snyder cut that people weren't didn't give a fuck about this version of the movie. And they kept. I remember the trailers were so bad, like them trying to tease Superman. They gave us too many trailers without Superman, and they kept teasing us like, "Oh, Superman might come back. Just he's gonna come back. Stop pretending like he's not. Just stop it." That was their biggest mistake. It was so bad that at the last second they put Superman in the poster for all of the movies. If you guys remember that. Um, Another thing. As far as characters that I liked in this movie, for starters, Gal Gadot is still great as Wonder Woman. She still plays her role really good. Uh, and of course, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He was very fun, very entertaining. That segment where he's sitting in the lasso of truth was hilarious. I thought it was just pure comedy, and that's a little charm. You could tell that was like a Josh Whedon move because like those were little moments that the Avengers did, which were fun and corny, and it was funny. It was enjoyable. Probably one of the more funnier scenes in the entire DCEU. Like legit funny. I hate Ezra Miller. I think he's a great person. I think he's a nice guy. But the guy, I do not like the guy personally as an actor. The guy annoys the shit out of me. And I should have known because I saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Him. He tried to be fucking serious and he ended up being so fucking annoying in that movie. I just couldn't stand the character. And for starters, they cast Flash who doesn't know how to fucking run. If you guys saw those running scenes, this guy keeps tripping. He's like you could make the argument that he was supposed to play this like character that's not that's shy and he's kind of nervous when he runs. But when it looks like the actor himself doesn't know how to run, then yeah, you kind of look like a dumbass, Ezra. I didn't like that. I did like that scene where um Ben Affleck throws the batarang and it goes in slow motion. He catches it. We saw it multiple times in the trailers. That was a cool scene. I really liked that. That was honestly a great way to bring in the Flash. The problem with the Flash is that he was too corny. You need to balance the corny and the seriousness. Look at I'm trying to think of a good character. Let me thinking of the Ninja Turtles. What's the orange one's name? Michelangelo, I believe it is. Is it him? Let me double check. Michelangelo. Yep. So he was always super corny. Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles. He was always the corniest, but he was still pretty serious. He was one of the goddamn Ninja Turtles. So you gotta balance out how to do these types of characters. Cyborg, I'm not gonna talk about all of Ray Fisher's shit talking. I'll save that for the Snyder cut if he's even that good in that movie. But this storyline wasn't even complete. There's so many shots that they took off from the trailer, like him in football, the injuries, like what got him there. They dropped a lot of scenes. They even dropped a scene where Cyborg goes, "You should probably move." They they did this guy wrong. I will say that. Like he is he I could see why he turned like the way he did, but I mean to take it out on some of your employees like that way was no good. That was definitely really bad. And then we'll finally culminate and talk about Mr. Ben Affleck Batman. He was good, but I honestly do not hate Ben Affleck as Batman. He was honestly the best part of BVS by far. But you could tell that Ben Affleck was not feeling it anymore. He just got tired of all the shenanigans. That's why he dropped out of the Batman movie. And now Robert Pattinson is playing him. I know there's talks of him coming back, Ben Affleck. And I'm excited for it. But if he's not gonna be 100% in it, then I don't want to see him, and that's the problem with this movie. Ben wasn't feeling it, and I don't blame him. All the shenanigans, all the drama, who wants to be in that environment? That's another big problem with these studios that uh with movies these days. Hollywood loves to fuck with people and just like do what they want. Like, shut the fuck up, move out of the way. Like, we'll call you if we need you, but let people do their vision. Obviously, Zack Snyder can do his full vision. And luckily we're getting it now. But yeah. Oh, and geez, how could I forget the worst thing ever? Um, Steppenwolf. What the fuck? They couldn't have thought of someone better. Like, if they were gonna do Darkseid, they should have given us Darkseid. Why give us Steppenwolf? This guy sucks. Even in the comics, I thought he was lame. So I don't get it. They could have gotten a better villain. I mean, they had all the fucking CGI in the world to do it. They teased Green Lantern in a montage, or not a montage, but like a flashback from Steppenwolf destroying and fighting the Amazons. I'm excited for Green Lantern. I hope they actually cast a good character this time. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds, but even he fucking hated that movie. Nobody likes that 2011 piece of shit. Um, so trying to think of what else to talk about. Oh yeah, I never brought this up in the BVS movie review, but I wanted to bring it up now before I forget. If they were gonna do this scene of Ezra, or the Flash, I should say, running back to Bruce saying like, "I'm too soon. Lois is the key." They never explained that, and I think that was very important that they'd explained that. Otherwise, what was the point of having that movie? Please explain it on the Snyder Cut. If the movie's 4 hours, they should at least explain that once and for good. Just finally admit it. Uh, because that's another thing. That's the problem with directors these days. Like, when you hire too many directors and no one knows what the fuck they want to do, they all have to be consistent. It's cliche what I'm about to say, but it takes two to tango. When you're dancing, it takes one person and it takes the other partner. You can't just like do your thing, otherwise you're gonna fuck up. That's just how it is in worlds. That's gonna be in society. That's gonna be in everything. I think that there was a good movie in here. It just wasn't complete. They needed that Snyder cut desperately, just so we could say we got it. Just so we could say we completed it. I could still watch this movie, but it's not the one I would rush to go watch first. Honestly, I would rather much watch Suicide Squad. And I like this movie a little bit more than Suicide Squad, but I'd rather much watch a movie, even though people have said that the Ayer cut isn't complete. Um, I mean, I could still have a little bit more fun with that one, or I feel more satisfied watching that one, I should say. This one, I wasn't satisfied because it wasn't complete. They cut off so many fucking scenes. Alfred got the shit end of the stick. J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. Remember that epic picture of J.K. Simmons working out, looking like he was on fucking steroids? Well, there was no point because he had a jacket on all the fucking time. Like, I don't get it. And then Jesse Eisenberg doesn't come back out until the end. I heard he was supposed to be in the finale and in the actual movie itself. And they need to explain the mother boxes a little bit more. They kind of did, but not really. It was pretty weak the way they explained those mother boxes and how they work. Because one brings lives, one you could tell they were taking a page from Infinity War, but it just failed miserably. Yeah, that's another problem with this universe in a general, that it rushed too much and it stopped being its own thing. Now they're luckily listening to the fans finally and saying like, okay, we fucked up. This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna like actually develop these characters, and we're actually gonna do the best we can with this. So I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do in the future with all of this, and hopefully they prove me wrong. But that's my review of the Justice League original theatrical version of the movie. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.